Oh, these two, you can only imagine the price that's going to be set for these two plots. Again, right, government being strategic, my guess is sell these two first, sell this one, and then sell this one lah. Irwell Hill Residences. Okay, so Irwell Hill, because it's a GLS, the tenure is 99 years. Developer is CDL. Launched in April 2021, and it was quite well sold, right? I believe it was 60% sold on launch day, and have been continuing a very good trajectory of sales. Good volume of sales. Today is 93.33% sold already, with a TOP in 2026. Schools within 1 km, River Valley Primary and Alexandra Primary. Again, if you need further details about Irwell Hill Residences, you scan this QR code and you can go to the website. You have everything that you need over there. Some breakdown on the points within the development that matter to us. 540 units, right? Good number of units. How they are broken down: 104 1 bidders, 334 2 bidders, 66 3 bidders, 35 4 bidders, and only 1 6 bidder. I believe that's the penthouse. So over in Irwell, you could see the unit mix swing a little bit more towards the investment side, 1 bidders and 2 bidders, right? Not that many units in terms of the 4 and the 3 bidders. Quite interesting route for the developers to take, but it seemed to be doing well for them, considering it's 93% sold. Average PSFs, right? Low end 2005, high end 3001, averaging out to 2800 PSF, 10%, about 10% lower than Avenue. Okay, percentage mix of Singapore. So this is where it gets a bit quite interesting. Okay, so over here at Avenue Irwell, 3/4 of the buyers are Singaporeans. 16% PRs and only 8% foreigners. Yeah, so 3/4 Singaporeans. Now, why are Singaporeans buying into Irwell Hill? And so this is where we go on to next, right? The 3 things we like and don't quite like about Irwell Hill Residences. Okay, the 3 things we like. Number 1, the size of the development, right? Not just in terms of the number of units. Of course, the number of units is good, but if you haven't seen the development, do go and look at the landscaping. So they have adopted this new style of developing that developers have adopted for their condos, which is they build it up higher and they utilize a very low percentage of the entire footprint for the building. I believe for Irwell it's only 30 something percent, if I'm not wrong, giving you 70% of the footprint or of the land as landscaping, facilities and whatnot. So it helps to give that development a very airy feel, doesn't feel cramped. So I like it a lot, and it's especially important in the resale market because that is where people get their first impression. Okay, so one of the reasons why I feel also in the new age of products in the OCR will stand out a lot as compared to the old products in the CCR is for exact reasons like that lah. Right, the first impression that you go in. And I get this a lot, especially when I serve buyers. We can go and take a look at, like, single story developments. No matter how cheap, they still won't want to buy. Yes, we will go and see because it's very cheap, but when they do eventually buy, they buy the one that they like, right? They buy the Martin Moderns, the ones that's nice and fancy, okay? So why we like size of developments? Number 1, number of units, like why we have always explained in terms of volume of transactions. But on the second part over here, it helps it stand out. The size of the development over at Irwell helps it stand out amongst the competition in that area. And it is strong competition. There's quite a lot of units in that area, okay? Number 2 would be the MRT transformation potential GLS. So now, what do I mean by this? Again, for this, we jump over to the URA master plan again. Okay, so now, we don't have to go very far, just have to pop in over here, and this will be our friend Irwell Hill. Why isn't it not indicated? Click here. Here, Irwell Hill Residences. So now, nicely situated between two future MRTs, right? We have the future Orchard MRT that is going to serve the Thomson East Coast line. Thomson East Coast, right? Let me see. Yes, Thomson East Coast line. This one is of course linked to the main Orchard MRT, the original Orchard MRT. So it's going to come up all the way here. So with that, next time you stay at Irwell Hill, nice short walk down slope to over here. We have, this is basically Ion Orchard already. So very, very short walking distance to Ion Orchard. For those of you who like the whole MRT transformation story, right, smack between two future MRTs, there's Great World, which is a lot nearer. So this one actually, the side gate brings you very, very quickly. I think it's a 3 to 4 minute walk. You can hit Great World MRT, the entrance of Great World MRT already. So now what am I looking at on top of the whole MRT transformation thing? Would be the future land plots to sell. And this one quite cool. We have here a reserve site, this site right beside Irwell Hill, and you know what, it's going to be awkward for them to build anything else other than another residential property around here, but I guess the government's keeping their options open by classifying it first as a reserve site. Across the road here, also another reserve site, but of course this reserve site is going to be quite hard to build condo lines, so it is so small. We have another resale site over here that is currently, I believe, the overseas school. Okay, so now the overseas school is going to go, and it's going to be replaced by two other residential plots over here with the 2.8 plot ratio one. So now we're going to have two more plots. This one already classified as residential that's going to be popping up over here. Then being closer to Orchard, you're going to set the new benchmark prices for sure. Again, right? Hopefully helping look cheap lah. And then on top of the future Thomson East Coast Line Orchard MRT station has been classified two very, very plum plots, and some more 5.6 and 4.9 plot ratio. First level commercial, on top residential units. Oh, these two, you can only imagine the price that's going to be set for these two plots. Again, right, government being strategic, my guess is sell these two first, sell this one, and then sell this one lah. So plenty of potential for people to pull up your prices for you. And Irwell also isn't too far from the previous three plots that I mentioned around Great Wall MRT. So just like that, you like that go and count already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 empty pieces of land surrounding Irwell Hill that can potentially help it pull up its price in the future. Okay, so back to that. Okay, number 3. Entry quantums and layouts. Right, so what do I mean by entry quantums? So you're going to be able to get at about the 1.8 million price point, 1.9 million price point right now, 2 bed, 2 baths over at Irwell Hill. You're not going to be able to get anything like that in that area per se. Okay, because if you go a bit further down to the Leonie side, they built them very big. If you go to the River Valley side, further down River Valley Road, closer towards the Jervois side, those are very small developments, mostly built in the 2010 eras with a lot of bay windows. Okay, so traditionally the units with the bay windows, perhaps the single most hated architectural feature in Singapore real estate are the bay windows, right? And it's also bay window units that have always the worst layouts lah. So for that, Irwell, if you look at Irwell as a development on its own, you may feel that it is very cookie cutter with the rest, and I would admit that, right? Which is why I'm not looking at like the layout and saying, oh gosh, this is a very nice layout compared to the rest. The answer is not. It's pretty cookie cutter, pretty standard. But if you compare to, I would say, the not so good layouts of the other of their neighboring developments, it offers a very good value proposition, which then explains why we have 75% Singaporeans buying into it. Because these folks, when they buy, right, would they necessarily concern that it's a 99 in a primarily freehold area? I'm pretty sure they were. Would they have been concerned that they feel that they are buying in at a high PSF for the area? I'm pretty sure they would. They would have done their homework, but why they still choose it? Because I think they know that the products in the surrounding areas just weren't exactly fantastic lah, for lack of a better word.
Hello, sorry to interrupt. We'd like to take the opportunity to thank you for watching the video and also to share why we do what we do. Is to empower consumers with hard facts and figures, quality research and real-life examples to allow them to make the most informed property decisions. So if you found our videos useful, the only thing we ask for is for you to smash that like and subscribe button so that the YouTube algorithm can push out our videos to more consumers. Thank you, and back to the video.
So 3 things we don't like about Irwell Hill Residences. So number 1, like I mentioned earlier, I think this number 1 and number 2 sort of hand in hand. So number 2, it's the supply in the area. So you're surrounded by tons of condos. You look at it, zoom out from the master plan, it's all the same color one, so it's all residential in that area. So it's naturally you would be concerned with the oversupply. Okay. And in the resale market, so this one a bit different already, even though it seems like it's very, very near to Avenue. So for here, if you go in and see resale in the area, you're going to see quite a fair bit of supply. So, but like I mentioned earlier, on the point of it being stand out in terms of its large development size and in terms of its layout and quantum, I don't believe the oversupply in the area will be an absolute deal breaker for you, because you will be quite a fair bit better than your neighbors. Next, right, then back to point 1, the lackluster performance in Leonie. So the Leonie side, again, somehow or other seems like somewhat of a black hole for money. A lot of loss-making transactions over there. Then it somewhat feels like Irwell is situated in the middle of 2 black holes for money. Another area being down the River Valley stretch, where Spice is, also a lot of loss-making transactions. So you will naturally be concerned, wow, so many loss-making transactions around, am I going to be the next one? So why I feel this probably would be a bit different, it's because those projects, those loss-making transactions, a lot of them were bought before 2013. Okay, a lot of them were bought before 2013, where it was the previous high watermark era. A lot of them probably sick and tired of holding already, which is why then they cut their losses around there. I say that more so for the River Valley side. And for the Leonie side, again, I think the prices were speculated to too high a point pre-2013, and so now it's being brought back to earth. So while I analyze Irwell Hill in terms of its fundamentals and in terms of where we are in the market at this point in time, I don't think it's speculative in nature. If you compare across the board in terms of entry prices, it is not way and above fundamentals, way above everything else. So I think not going to be a deal breaker over here, but you're still going to have to understand and break down this relative performance in the area to get across this hurdle. Okay? Number 3 would be the traffic noise. Of course, it's basic. It's surrounded by roads, so to speak. We have River Valley Road down one side, we have Irwell Bank Road down the other side, and Grange Road on the another side. So Grange Road maybe not so high traffic, but Irwell Bank Road, because it leads into it leads into Kim Seng, that side, Great World City side, right? Can be quite high in terms of traffic lah. So something to consider. But of course, if you're looking to buy it now, there's only high level units left. So that probably wouldn't be too big of a concern for you. I think primarily people want to buy into the area is also because of its close proximity to Orchard and also to Great World City. So now, why doesn't the 99? So why didn't we put like 99 in freehold as one of the things we don't like over here? Is like I've mentioned before, I feel in terms of the product, it's very, very different from all the freehold in that area, and so the freehold in that area wouldn't really impact or hinder the performance over at Irwell Hill being a 99 development too much. And also because we have Martin Modern to thank as sort of a pioneer in debunking this myth of 99ers in freehold not being able to do well. Okay?